Live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Here we are. This is it. It'll seem like 5 minutes from now, we'll be doing the last radio broadcast of 2011, Lord willing. But this is the last live radio transmission that I'll be doing in the year 2010. 2010 is collapsing into dust. He's got a very long beard, and his teeth are falling out right in front of us, and he is now becoming see-through and breaking into blocks of ash that are hitting the ground. Out with the old, in with the new. You know, what are dates? I mean, they are just markers we use as signposts in our life, but it is important just to illustrate how transitory life is and how special it is to be alive and to be conscious in God's great creation. We're going to be live here today for the next 4 hours. We have Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, who's been writing some really powerful news reports. And he's going to be joining us on the state of the police state, the state of the awakening that's taking place, the fact that 1984 has now arrived here in the Republic. And we're going to get into the economy as well with the father of Reaganomics, former head of policy at the Department of Treasury, and then our once-a-week visit. I was out of town last week, so I wasn't here. So it's been 2 weeks since we've had the pleasure of talking to Bob Chapman of the International Forecaster. He's going to be on with us today. And we've also got some surprise guests popping in the overdrive fourth hour today. I want to come back from break and really just throw out some of the most important things that I think have happened in the last year and what we are facing going into 2011 here in about 12 hours Eastern, so 13 hours Central. I guess it's 15 hours Pacific. Why am I obsessing on factoids? The point is that this is a very important broadcast, obviously, because it's always important to take stock of the year past and looking forward into the year to come. And I tried to write some notes this morning of all the important things that have happened in 2010, and it just made my mind spin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the phones up throughout the full 4 hours today. I'm going to open the phones up throughout the full 4 hours today, interspersed with the guests we've got coming on one big issue, one topic. We don't screen your calls, but every few weeks I'll say, hey, will you please call in on this topic or call in for this guest with specific questions for them. And people, of course, hardly ever follow that rule. And we could be talking about fluoridation of water. They call in, want to talk about the price of tea in China. But this is easy for you to follow today. I want to hear what you think the most important developments were in 2010 and what you think is going to happen in 2011 coming up. So that is just basically a full spectrum. Anything you want to discuss, you can. But in that context, I want to hear from you, because I know there's no way that I can even remember or chronicle or keep track of all the important things that have happened. It almost does it an injustice if I come back from break and tell you what I think is important that happened in 2010, because there's no way to list what's most important up front. So I'll just cover a smattering of ideas I've got when we return. There's also been some really amazing draconian developments that we were expecting, but still it's really hard to deal with it when it's unfolding. I mean, it's one thing to know it's coming. It's another thing to know that it's actually here. And it's one thing to know a bus is about to hit you. It's another thing once you feel it actually run into you, feel your bones break. So a lot of serious things have happened in 2010, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as we look forward to 2011, if folks think 2010 was wild and woolly, get ready. 2011 into 2012 is going to be a roller coaster. Stay with us. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true.
Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup, insurance, and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nanosilver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nanosilver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
We're going to be live for 4 hours. It is the final live transmission of 2010 as we go into 2011, 2012, and beyond. We're going to have open phones to get your take on what you think the most important developments of 2010 have been. Not so much the biggest news stories, you know, who got a tummy tuck or who got a nose job or who OD'd or, you know, oh my gosh, well, they may cancel some NFL football games. I know for the brain dead zombies, that's the most important stories of 2010. Obviously there's the banking implosion. There's the tyranny coming out in the open. There's the mass awakening to the private Federal Reserve in 2010. There's the admissions by the government of geoengineering, climate manipulation, weather warfare they're waging against us. That's going on right now. There is the global unraveling of the dollar that happened last year. I mean, there are just hundreds of things that have gone on. There was the huge ongoing TSA scandal that really is galvanizing people more and more to face the fact that this is real tyranny. And the people of the United States and other countries that have a similar management system going in are really waking up and saying this is about dominating us and training us to be slaves and getting in our comfort zone. I even have the London Guardian today and Washington Post and other big publications coming out and attacking the TSA and saying it's wrong and that it's molestation and that it's tyranny. I mean, there are big things happening. Here's the Guardian. The TSA's state-mandated molestation. The humiliations of the pat-down policy with Janet Napolitano wants to expand are an Orwellian assault on American freedom. And I can't even read on air what the TSA is admitting because of a child's audience. But we've not made jokes. Some have made jokes. It's not a joke here that they will start doing proctology cavity searches. And, of course, many reporters, people couldn't believe it months ago when we were covering it. It happened to female reporters and male reporters where they put their hands on your genitals and press hard. I mean, it hurts people. Now they're, well, I'm not going to, through the pants, or they go into the pants, they're going, I'm not going to get into it. You can read the Guardian article. This is the biggest newspaper, not just in England, but in Europe. And it sounds like Paul Watson wrote it, or Kurt Nimmo, or Alex Jones, okay? Because, you see, you got to be careful with tyranny. As they baste people in it, as they marinate you, as they take you to new lows of degradation in the name of keeping you safe, as they try to set insane precedents by doing radical things, that's the Overton window, as they do that, instead of just getting you to fully submit, if they push too hard, it can cause you to buck and finally wake up. It's kind of like, to use the analogy of a vampire. If it sneaks up in the night and, you know, sucking some blood gently, you might not wake up. But if it just comes right over and sinks its teeth in and starts really sucking hard, you might wake up and try to fight off the Nosferatu police state, the Count Dracula police state. And that's what's happening here. So the trance really, you can say, was broken in 2010 for many people. The biggest acceleration of awakening that this planet's ever seen, and Zbigniew Brzezinski said that in 2010. All of humanity is awake and staring at the political rulers, at the people behind the throne, the engineers. That's a problem for them, as Lou Rockwell said eloquently yesterday. Once you're not looking at Bush the puppet or Obama the puppet, though they are distasteful teleprompter reading creatures, and once you start looking at the central banks, the Madoff types, the Ken Lay types, the Keating 5 types, this is Keating 5, point 10, version 10, version 20, version 10,000. I don't know. Pick your version. It just gets worse and more off the charts. And if they can just make you just lackadaisically, I don't care, I'm going to go get drunk, they win. And you get a Nazi Germany, you get a Soviet Russia, you get a Maoist China. But we can reverse that. As decadent and slob-like as we've all become, and even if you're in perfect shape, culturally we become slovenly, lazy. None of us are 1/10 as hard as people were 150 years ago. There's no doubt about that. We become disconnected from reality, disconnected from the earth, disconnected from blood, sweat, and toil. And where if you didn't put enough food away for the winter, you and your family starved to death. People become domesticated. Well, the trance was broken to a great extent in 2010. It dwarfs all the previous years combined. I mean, it's the big awakening. Will we supercharge it? Will we grasp the wheel of destiny and put our imprint, our will, into this great contest? There's always been a contest, even if you don't believe in God and the devil. There's always been a contest between control freaks, thugs, abusers, sadists, psychopaths that create systems of domination and control to carry out their fantasies of total enslavement. That's a fact of humanity. It's like a tropism. You plant a seed, water and sunlight hit it, it gets nutrients, it sprouts, it comes up, the plant aims towards the sun. It's a tropism. And it's the same thing with the globalists. Black uniforms, mass death, raping, wars, burning cities. It's what the psychopath creates when they get control. And they always get control by staging events and posing as your savior and paying people off and creating armies of corrupt people to serve them. They always find key units of murderers to then expand, who will then recruit other murderers, other control freaks. I mean, we know exactly what this does. It's like if you go to the doctor and they say you got this type of brain tumor, it grows this fast, you're going to be dead within 6 months. It's 100% goodbye. Just, run out in front of an 18-wheeler that's going 100 miles an hour, you're going to die. I mean, we know what this does. Okay? I mean, it's like hanging a big old side of rotten pork over a boat and throwing rotten chicken blood in, and a big old great white shark comes up.